What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. How you guys doing? Automatic Z's and G's in the VQ community, I haven't really seen this offer for them, and what I am talking about is the automatic transmission cooler for cooling your automatic transmission fluid, which I think is one of the most important components for any auto Z or G owners. So in the box you would receive your 24-row oil cooler, which is a -10 oil cooler. You would receive 2 reducers, and then you would receive 2 fittings as well for the lines, and these are push locks fittings, so all you got to do is just push the hose in. And I prefer, since auto transmissions do have high PSI, I prefer to use hose clamps as well, which you will be provided all in this kit with some self-tapping hardware, so you can tap it into the bracket to be able to mount this. So this is fairly very simple. All you got to do is, if you buy this kit, which will be $260 shipped to your door, guys. So for $260 you will get all of this, and all you really need, well, all you need is automatic transmission fluid, and you got to make sure that it's the Dextrin VI. That is the one that you need, but this you can use. And all you got to do is take this fluid when you get this kit, before you install it, before you throw on the fittings. When you mount the oil cooler, you're going to want to go ahead and just top off the oil cooler with full of this. Usually this takes about like half a quart or a whole quart of this. So you would fill this up in order, when you do hook up the lines and everything, it will compensate for some of the oil that you did spill from doing the install, and it will compensate for the new amount of oil needed, since now you have a bigger capacity for transmission cooler. So yeah, it's fairly very easy. You don't need to unplug your transmission plug or anything. It's very easy, and I'll show you guys step by step how to do it so you guys can understand. These 2 kits are already sold, but I will be offering these kits. I have them in stock all the time, so if you are interested, like I said, either you could leave a comment, shoot me an email, will be in the description, or you could find me on Instagram and slide in my DM and get yourself one of these kits. Like I said, they're going to be $260 shipped to your door. We'll include an instruction video, which will be this video, for you guys to see how to install it. And the whole kit, very easy, very cheap, and you know me, we're all about keep saving. So if I can save you guys some money and offer some of you guys a cool kit that they don't really make, a win-win. So hopefully you guys enjoy. Alright, so now we could go and look at the car. So I have my bumper taken off and my fenders. You don't need to take off your fenders. You will need to take off your bumper. I don't have my OEM crash bar, but if you were to have your OEM crash bar, it's just a bar that goes across all the way here. And what we're gonna do, guys, is if you have a bash bar like this, you just take it off. If you have an OEM crash bar, you're gonna want to use the same. Unbolt these, which I think are 12mm or 13mm. I changed the hardware, but yeah, you're gonna need to unscrew that, and then you'll be able to take your bash bar assembly off, and then you will have like this kind of like brace right here. I've cut this section just because I have my Mishimoto oil cooler, my Starbs power steering cooler, and my TriggaSpec transmission cooler. This is up to you if you want to cut it or not, but you can cut this section off. If not, you will just have to reroute your lines behind this metal, which is right here, that you guys can see I cut. You just have to route yours like that, so it's not in the way. But ultimately, I mounted my transmission cooler in this section of the car, like in the front of the car right here, and that was because of my spacing and like how I had set it up. You don't have to necessarily mount it right there, but as you guys can see too, it just sits on the plastic right here. So if you have an aftermarket power steering cooler, then you would just mount it in front of it like I did with this. Or if you have your stock OE power steering cooler, it's just a little cooler that looks like this sitting right here. And all you got to do is just unbolt it, let it hang down, so you can go ahead and put your new transmission cooler into this area onto this plastic. So this bracket too that you guys see right here that I use, the metal that I was talking about, this metal that I ended up cutting, if you leave it on your car, when you come all the way down, it attaches right here. So you could disregard this metal, but if you needed it, you could just get a little cool Home Depot or Lowe's. They sell these like metal L brackets, they call it, that you could use the same way I did. But I won't be providing this because I'm not sure if some of you guys are going to keep that bar or not. But you don't have to cut it like I did. I just didn't like that bar. But yeah, you just have to, this section You could self-tap the back hole. I didn't because I had this metal piece, but if you do have it on your car, self-tap this back hole. And then if you look on, I hope the camera can see down there, both of those are self-tapped into the plastic like radiator housing shroud that we have under our car or whatever it is that's bolted up right here, that stays in place, that holds the radiator. So yeah, you just need a self-tap right here like I explained, right there, and then right there. So after you go ahead and mount your oil cooler into its place just like I did, you could either put it here, over there, whatever you honestly like. I'm gonna provide the hose links with the kit for here, but if you do decide to put your cooler, for example, here, you can always route the hose just like I did and cut the extra pieces off yourself. But as you guys can see, the cooler is hooked up, the lines are hooked up, and I have it zip tied, which I will include as well, TriggaSpec. And as you guys can kind of see, I route my lines just like that through here, through right here. Some of you guys might have a thing right here from factory. If you still have everything OEM, all you're gonna need to do is just cut a little hole like that. You know, you could probably do it with like scissors or like a small Dremel to be able to pass the lines through. But yeah, see, more zip tied here, and then we have it split off right here. So this red hose that you guys see is my radiator hose going and connecting to my radiator right here. For all the auto guys, where your radiator bottom hose is up top right there, I'm gonna zoom in, there's a nipple that comes out of the radiator. From factory, you're gonna have a line connected to it, which I'll show you guys where it connects. But if you see my hand right here, there's like these two metal lines that come out. From factory, you're gonna have a line going from here to here, and then a line from the top part of the radiator, which I'll show you guys, going back and connecting back to this piece. And as you guys can see, I'm talking about these metal lines. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna reroute these lines. You guys see, we kept one of the stock lines that comes from the top of the radiator down to the bottom, and this piece that I'm talking about is just a small chamber right here inside the radiator that uses to cool this fluid. But in my opinion, this is not a big enough chamber to cool that much fluid, especially if you abuse your car like I do. So that's why I designed this kit. So now that we go under here, you guys can get a better understanding of what I was talking about. So those lines that we have coming through that we saw, one of them is going to this bottom piece. So you're gonna want to unhook the bottom piece. So this kind of union that connects right here, we are gonna mainly be taking this one off from your factory, which will be this going to the one that's right here that I was showing you guys. We're gonna go ahead and connect this with the new hose provided. You're gonna slip it on, and you're gonna need to use 2 hose clamps. So slip it on very good like I did, kind of far in, and then put 2 hose clamps, and make sure these hose clamps are very tight, because this is high pressure fluid, and if these are not tight, and the reason we use 2, it will shoot off or it will leak. So use 2 of the hose clamps for a very tight grip. But yeah, see, this line now is the line that will go from here, and it spins out and comes. To get reference again, this was the hose that we were talking about. It comes up and it goes this way, and this is the feed actually for our oil cooler that we have. So goes from that line, comes in, feeds the oil cooler right here. The fluid will go down through, and then as it comes back up and it goes here, this line, which is the second line, now is going to return and is gonna connect to the radiator nipple that is right here. So all you gotta do is just route those 2 lines. Originally from factory, you will have a line going from here connecting to that double piece that I showed you guys right there. You remove that hose, and you connect the hose from here going to the cooler, and then from the return of the cooler to the bottom of the radiator. When you go ahead and remove this hose from factory, that hose that goes right here, there's going to be some spillage. You're going to need to put a towel down so you don't make a big mess. But My fastest recommendation is when you take the hose clamp off and you slide it off, go ahead and right away slip the new line on and put the head of the line up high, like hang it somewhere like this, and that way fluid doesn't get pulled in by gravity, and you're able to go ahead and connect the second line right away as well and do the same thing. And when you hold the lines up like that, fluid won't be able to actually go up because gravity is going to be pulling it down. But then right away you're going to want to bring them and go ahead and push them into the push lock fittings onto the cooler. So now that I've explained how that system works and how the installation is, now you guys understand how the setups and the basics of this kit works. That's pretty much it, guys. And because you have topped off your oil cooler already before you installed it, when you go ahead and hook up your hose, the oil cooler will be already full of fluid. So when you go ahead and turn the car on, the pump in your transmission is going to begin pulling the fluid just like it would out of the radiator section that it always went to. This time it will actually pull from the cooler as well, and whatever oil that's in the cooler will compensate for some of the oil spillage that you had, and now the extra amount of oil that your transmission can hold because you have a 24-row oil cooler. And it's as simple as that, guys. Very easy installation. Might take a little bit of time for you guys to do, but it's very easy, nothing hard. Super simple, guys. So hopefully you guys enjoy this kit. If you guys have any questions, please leave a comment, or like I said, feel free to send me an email or reach out to me on DM, and I can answer any questions you guys have about this kit. But this kit will be available in full, $260 shipped to your door. But thank you again for watching. Hopefully this benefits you guys in some sort of way, and if not, I hope you guys just enjoyed the video. But thank you, see you guys next week. Sorry for my dirty hands.